This is the Barbecue Central Radio Show, which airs live every Tuesday evening from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Barbecue Central Show is being brought to you by Big Papa Smokers. Big Papa is the one-stop shop for anyone interested in barbecue, featuring a comprehensive selection of all American-made grills, spices, sauces, accessories, and everything that you need to make a world-class pit out of a 55-gallon drum. Visit them at BigPapaSmokers.com. And by the Barbecue Guru, makers of automatic pit temperature control devices and pits as well. You can visit them at thebbqguru.com. And by Cook Shack, a leader in pellet and electric style cookers. Visit them for specials online at cookshack.com or call them at 800-423-0698. And by Sucklebusters. Sucklebusters products are preferred by competition barbecue cooks. Texas-based, 100% made in the USA. Introduced first products to Barbecue Central over 7 years ago. You can get in contact with them at sucklebusters.com. Like them on their Facebook fan page, Sucklebusters, or visit thetexasbbqforum.com. Check them out and see why Sucklebusters means bustin' with flavor. And by Stephen DeFranco Jeweler, the official jeweler of the Barbecue Central Show. Visit them at StephenDeFranco.com or call 440-943-2700. And by Butcher Barbecue, makers of injections, sauces, and rubs. Find them online at ButcherBBQ.com. And by Green Mountain Grills, a leader in the pellet grill market. You can find out more about their cookers by visiting GreenMountainGrills.com. And by CookinPellets.com, a maker of high-quality pellets for all of your pellet-driven cookers. You can visit them at CookinPellets.com, or you can find them at Amazon.com as well.
Hi, I'm Johnny Dam, host of the Damage Report radio show. When I'm not falling in love with the First Amendment all over again, I like to sit back, relax, and rub my meat to the Barbecue Central show. And now your host, Greg Rempe. Go, Greg. Yeah. Rub that meat.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. We broadcast live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It is the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday if you want to jump in tonight. I am more than happy to have you. It's a phone call, 216-220-0966. You can also email the show, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Greetings to Angela Iverson, who has made it in as well in the chat room. If you didn't get the newsletter, let me get you up to speed on what is happening this evening. It is a more or less competition-heavy show tonight, so if you're not into the competition stuff, after the first segment, that might be it for you. You might want to call it a day, get the replay on the iTunes or so forth. But sit back, relax if you are into it, or if you just like to listen to me talk to people about barbecue and grilling. You've found the right place. Coming up in about 13 minutes from now, a regular monthly guest contributor, a Hall of Famer in the barbecue world, a multiple-time author and friend of the show, Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, is in. Then we will continue what has been an ongoing conversation with one of the hottest pitmasters out there in 2015, actually carrying over from 2014, punching his ticket to the Jack Daniels after his win this past weekend. Pitmaster of Hot Wachula's Matt Barber joins the show again. Then we'll move into the second hour, where we will find a, to me, longtime friend of the show. We've had him on a small handful of times. He did get a big win out this past weekend at the Big Creek barbecue that benefited Operation Barbecue Relief. The pitmaster of Pigskin Barbecue, Scott Nelson, joins us at 10:14. And then to keep with the Sam's streak, which I believe we have had since all of the local events have been going on. This one took place in Renton, Washington. We will be joined by... Oh, I just lost my whole thing just crashed out here. What the hell just happened? All right, never mind. I'm sorry. We will be joined by pitmaster of Moving the Chains barbecue team. They won the local qualifier in Renton, Washington. Jesse Henry will be joining me in the bullpen slot this evening. So there you go. Jesse Henry, Scott Nelson, Ray Lampe, and Matt Barber for your interview lineup schedule tonight. Again, if you want to jump in, 216-220-0966. You can also email the show, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. As I normally ask you to do at right about this time each and every show, if you have some type of social media giddy up, get on it, or do the old school mass email, blind copy everybody that you have in your particular address book right now and send them to a couple different links. The audio-only files can be found live on my website, thebbqcentralshow.com. You can also send them to the longtime video syndication partner of this show, outdoorcookingchannel.com. And, of course, if you have a lot of the Internet Protocol television platforms like Roku, for instance, you go to that particular app store, look for Outdoor Cooking Channel in the App Store, download it, and now you have Outdoor Cooking Channel on your Roku. You do have the live feed option. That is the first option that you have once you load up that particular application in Roku, and you can watch a live stream all day long. You can also get a lot of archives on that particular channel as well. Don't forget, you can subscribe to iTunes replays for this show. That's the way most people get it. YouTube for me, Outdoor Cooking Channel for me, all that stuff. So, you know, the main website, of course, the main is the clearinghouse for audio, video files and replays of the show. So that's where you want to go. If you could do me a favor, and maybe a lot of you folks don't really pay particular attention, but I'm asking at least a handful of you, Don G, of course, longtime listener of this show, and maybe some of the others, listen with a keen ear tonight, because I have made a few small changes to my audio card and my mixer, and I have noticed, and maybe you haven't noticed, anybody, that there's particular points in the show where, through no doing of mine, the audio dips a little bit, and then it peaks back up, and it'll stay there, and then it'll dip back down, and stay there for a little while. So I'm trying to, basically eliminate the peak, and there's really not too many moving parts that I have here. A mixer, I have a digital audio in-out type situation that plugs into the back of the tower that generates the signal, and really that's kind of it. I do have a compressor limiter gate, which I think has no bearing whatsoever on how the whole thing deals. So my thought initially was that the Roland dual band audio in-out interface is somehow becoming a little crappy, which is disappointing because there's really not too many working parts. It's just going to sit there and take one feed in and take one feed out to the back of the computer in the form of USB. But I've taken that portion out. I've gone direct USB from the mixer into the back of the tower, and we'll see if that corrects the problem. So if you ever, and I apologize if I miss it, if you're posting it in the chat room, because I try not to get caught up in all of that all the time. I do peruse. So if you hear a dip, please, let it go for a second. Make sure it's not something on your end. And then let me know. Quickest way for me to know if I don't catch it in the instant chat is either email me at some point, I catch it during a break, or do the private message thing that pops up on my screen outside of the traditional instant chat. So do that favor for me as we get through the course of the next 2 hours. I'll be forever indebted to the Centralites that are keeping an ear out for the quality of the show. I wanted to spend the last couple minutes here during the open to express my thanks. I noticed, especially from the end of the show Tuesday, until the 3rd of April, that a lot of people took the time to send some semblance of a letter to bbq@americanroyal.com to kind of finish out strong the potential of me getting on the nomination or to be considered for nomination of the 2015 Barbecue Hall of Fame in the celebrity/humanitarian category. And I had made a very large, unabashed, unadulterated plea here on the show. I've even did bumper promotions for it, also on Facebook, also on the Twitter, and things of this nature to really try and make a push, and more, not to make a push, but to make a point. And I might actually bring it up with current Hall of Famer, Ray Lampe, when he comes on here in a couple minutes. But I wanted to make the point that, there's a lot of things that you can do and ask the general public about. Opinions, trends, fads, what have you. Religious politics stuff, all that could be argued until one is blue in the face, potential friendships ended, and marriages gone up in fire. I mean, who knows what's going on over there. But halls of fame, again, in my opinion, are ones that should never be soliciting nominations for that particular industry that the Hall of Fame covers. If you don't have enough people in a stable over the next 5 and 10 and 15 years, and what it basically should break down to is this, in my estimation. If 5 people are nominated, or if you have 20 people that you say at some point all these people are going to make it, and where the argument should come isn't that those 20 people should make it into the Hall of Fame. That should be a foregone conclusion. The argument should take place like it does in every other sport. When they get in, well, that person should have waited another 2 years, or this person should be first ballot Hall of Famer, and set up criteria to get voted in like we do with the sports. I mean, people will say that competition barbecue is a sport. I am absolutely a firm believer that it is a sport. A lot of people will contend that it is not. But golf is a sport, and bowling is a sport, and archery is a sport. That's a skill. That's not a sport. There is absolutely zero physical shape that you need to be in to be a really good golfer or archer or bowler. It's been proven time and time again. That's what I'm looking to quell with this run for Barbecue Hall of Fame-ness. Ray Lampe coming up out of the break. Folks, are you interested in taking barbecue or smoked foods to the next level? Have you thought about starting a catering business, opening a food truck or a restaurant? If you have answered yes to any of these questions, let Cook Shack help you be successful. Register for Cook Shack's Fast Eddie Restaurant and Catering class to be held this July. The class is held at the Country Club in Ponca City, Oklahoma. It uses their commercial kitchen. You'll see how to cook on a Cook Shack, charbroiler, an FEC 500, a 120, an SM160. All smokers used during the class will be available for purchase at a special rate for participants at that class. The class has a classroom portion and a hands-on portion. If you want to handle meat, rubs, and knives, this is the class for you. Each student will learn how to select proper meat cuts and trim the brisket, pork butt, ribs, and brisket. Other topics to be discussed include menu ideas, cook and hold techniques, food safety, brining, profitability, and yields. It also includes setup for a dinner service and then working the service line for the patrons of the Country Club. The instructors are legendary Fast Eddie Marin, Barbecue Pitmaster TV show finalist Dave Bosco of Butcher Barbecue Competition Team, and Cook Shack CEO and President Stuart Powell. Each student will receive a binder with class materials and other supplies and goodies to take home. It also includes 3 nights hotel, meals, a tour of the Cook Shack manufacturing facility. The class dates are July 13th and 14th. Class sizes limited to 25 students, so sign up today, and they are going quickly, by the way. So if you're debating, don't debate anymore. Get on it now. For more information, contact Krista with Cook Shack at 800-423-0698. That's 800-423-0698. Or email her at C_Jones, Jones, C_Jones at cookshack.com. Or just visit cookshack.com to find out about all their great cookers and rubs and sauces and all that stuff. Chance to meet Fast Eddie Marin and Dave Bosca and Stuart Powell. Who wouldn't want to hobnob with those guys for 3 days? I would. Is that possible? Can I get some of that? All right, the Hall of Famer, celebrity, humanitarian, and all-around good guy Ray Lampe for the Ask Dr. Barbecue segment coming up out of the break. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central Network.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. This portion of the show brought to you by, and they are back, Sam's Club for 2015, baby. That's right, Sam's Club back. A national barbecue tour, 31 cities, 500 G's and cash to be won. Bragging rights, of course, if you win the whole damn thing. Next stop on the tour this Saturday, April 11th, 2015, in Salt Lake City, Utah. This is a qualifying event, local, that takes the top 6 teams and feeds them in the Las Vegas Regional Final. That'll take place April 25th. Find out more about Sam's Club Barbecue Series. Check out the results or to register your team to compete. Visit kcbs.us/Sam's Tour.
If you got questions about barbecue or grilling, maybe as a hobby or even a business, looking to get an expert's point of view, why not ask Dr. Barbecue? You can submit your questions by clicking on the Ask Dr. Barbecue tab on the website. The doctor is in. Here's Ray Lampe with his nurse, Greg Rempe. Dr. Barbecue.
All right, there he is, everybody. Ray Lampe joining us here on the show. Ray, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, Greg. How about yourself?
Doing absolutely fabulous, Ray. Always appreciate you making time for the show each and every month. Missed you last month, but we're glad to have you back in with no April Fools about it. Here you are, and looks like you're still in HQ right now.
I am. Yes, I am. There's some new stuff on the shelf, I think, back there. I was moving stuff the other day because I had an important Skype interview. Sorry, I'm looking at some weird ad. I'm trying to... Oh, there it is. Okay, I got rid of it.
So, like in sport... Nice English I have going today. Important Skype interview. So were you looking to place product or were you looking to hide product?
No, it's almost every casting director now does it via Skype. So that's what it was, I'm sure. It was a TV thing. Oh, yeah, I was just trying to make it look like I was a little more organized.
Gotcha. So you were doing a little spring cleaning.
Well, I just moved the shit to the floor.
Yeah. So when you are doing interviews via Skype, I mean, is it... Are they looking for personality? Let me ask you this question, and maybe not so much now because you have so much TV under the belt, but when you were, doing it back in the olden days, was it a nerve-wracking experience? Were you trying to figure out what you should say and running that fine line of gimmicking it up and being a character of Dr. Barbecue versus the real Dr. Barbecue?
Well, for me, it's different. It's easy now because I have so many. I mean, I've lived all this stuff over all these years that I almost always have a story to tell. And you listen to them, pay attention to what they actually asked instead of just trying to get all your stuff in. And then if you happen to have something interesting to talk about that answers the question, that's where you really want to go if you can. And yeah, you got to be big, man. I've put makeup on for these things, not for you, Greg, but for other people. Put makeup on. You get make sure the lighting's right. It all counts. And if you're really close between you and somebody else, and you had your lighting a little bit right and they didn't, you never know, man. See that shiny spot right on my head right there? That's not good.
Guess what? You don't get the job. I have professional lighting all around me that you can't see and a green screen. I'd get the job, Ray. You'd be up shit creek, I think.
You look like you're wearing makeup.
Yeah, I put my beard makeup on tonight for sure. Nothing as extravagant as the Fu Manchu. How long have you had that thing, Ray? I
had a goatee in high school. When I graduated high school, I had a goatee. Now I've had it over the years. I grew a full beard and I shaved it off in the disco days, and I did have a Fu Manchu for a while. But in general, I've had a goatee pretty much since I could grow one.
Could you imagine a day where Ray Lampe doesn't have that? Would that be way too out of left field for you to shave it off, or are you not that attached?
I don't really care. I mean, it's, as you're a fat guy, it hides a double chin, so it's kind of nice. That's why we all grow them. But, I'm not that, I mean, look at me. I'm not that good looking. This is just what I look like. But it has become part of my brand, and it would be a whole different look if I didn't have it. That's for sure.
Ray Lampe joining us here on the show, drbbq.com, his main website, if you want to check out what he's up to while we are chatting it up here this evening. If you have a question for Ray that you'd like him to answer, well, ask@drbbq.com is the place to go for that. And he joins us each and every month on the first Tuesday of the new month. Ray, so we missed you last month, and I wonder things that you're always up to and events that you are being invited to either take part in or judge or whatever. So if I can live vicariously through the world of Dr. Barbecue, what's on tap here over the next couple of weeks and months?
Oh, it's been kind of slow. It's been winter time, been kind of slow, but it's starting to ramp up right now. And I have some great ones this week. Thursday, I go to the Clearwater Hilton for the pregame party of the Mike Allstott golf outing. I got invited to play as a celebrity this year. And Mike Allstott's a huge deal down here.
Yeah.
It should be really a cool thing. It's at a nice club. I'm just hoping that whoever gets me actually knows who I am, that I'm not like the last guy picked. They're like, who's that? The last celebrity picked at the event, and the lame-o one that nobody knows. So I'm kind of worried about that. But I have been practicing my golf. I took some lessons and bought some new clubs, and I'm sort of looking forward to that.
Right.
But then I have to go right from there Friday night so that I can be in the National Pie judging competition. Well, it's not a competition for judging, but I can judge the National Pie competition this weekend, Saturday in Orlando. I've never done that before. Talk about a lucky gig. What do you think that's going to be like?
I mean, I'm literally amazed. So let me back up to the Mike Allstott thing, because, to me, that's like, huge deal. I'm a big NFL guy. Mike Allstott was, huge down there in Tampa Bay for years. But just as a fan of football, the size and the ferocity that he brought to the position, making linebackers and defensive backs pay for every time they tried to run up on him and stop him as he was taking the ball through the line, was kind of amazing during his career. How do you get invited to that? Like, what ends are you working? Or people just reaching out to you, or what?
I don't know this one. I actually never did ask the guy. He's got a foundation, and there's a guy, Cam, not Cam, but what's the guy's name? Rich, I think, from his foundation. And he contacted me directly, and I kind of felt it out to make sure he knew that he was calling the right guy. And he was. Probably somebody in their organization is a barbecue fan or a Food Network fan and saw me on there. They got to get bodies. They need, I guess it's a shotgun start, so if it's full, they need 36 celebrities to play with these people. So, they probably get a handful of NFL guys and the local news guys, but then they need to find guys. So it's got to be somebody. In my mind, it was Allstott's just a fan, but it's probably not the real answer. He grew up right outside of Chicago. I mean, we knew about Allstott in high school. He was a big deal. So. But yeah, I mean, I wish I could tell you how I got in this one, because I'd do it more often.
It seems like, actually, and you were saying, I hope somebody recognized me, or I'm not the last pick, but it seems to me in the realm of celebrity, that's got to be like the best thing. You're not like the Uber big time where everybody's going to be all over your ass, but you get all of the spoils and the victories that all these other guys are going to get, and you don't have to worry about people grabbing your ass and take a picture here and do all this stuff, but you get to do all the other fun stuff, right? I mean, come on, that's great.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think about that with Guy a lot, because, I can go anywhere, do anything, and nobody really cares that much. If people do recognize me, they're nice about it. They say, hi, he can't go anywhere. He can't go have dinner,
Yeah.
And that's right. There'll be some guys there. Probably Derek Brooks will play, who's a huge deal down here, and Mike himself. And, who knows who his friends are. Probably a couple of NFL guys will come in, and that will draw all the attention. You're exactly right. And I get the same goodie bag they do.
That's a win for me. Ray Lampe joining us here on the show, and then you're going to judge the National Pie Championship, and I know you're kind of you like the desserts, if you will. So, I mean, is this like, hey Ray, come and judge, and you're like, oh yeah, where do I sign up? Like right now?
Well, actually, I'm diabetic, so I really don't eat a lot of dessert.
Watch out!
I'm going to have to be a little bit careful.
Bring the insulin pump.
Yeah, everything in moderation. I'm pretty good day to day. So yeah, this will be I just have to be careful. But it's just a cool thing. I met this lady at the World Food Championship. She's the lady that's in charge of the National Pie Championship. And it's a big deal in Orlando. It's at a hotel. I can't even imagine what these people, like when you go in the bar at the National Pie Championship, are they throwing down on Friday night? Like the pie bakers partying hard? I don't know.
Yeah,
what are their shot of
they're taking lemon drop shots and like grasshoppers and all that stuff. That's it's got 50 different ingredients in it, stuff like that, I think.
Yeah, that's what you would think. Drinking a Brandy Alexander, maybe.
Yeah, they're not doing shots or they're not drinking Bullet Bourbon neat, I bet.
I don't know. I'm going over there on Friday night. So I will go right to the bar and see who's partying at the National Pie Championship. And then Monday, I get to go to St. Croix for St. Croix Food and Wine Festival. I just got, a mutual friend actually connected me there. They need some chefs, and he thought I'd be a good fit because they do a barbecue thing on the beach. And Sam Choi is going to be there. Sam was on Chop the time I was on there for that. And they just thought it would be a pretty good matchup, me versus Sam. And but so I get to go to St. Croix for a week on the house. And I got to do a couple little events. But believe me, the work is not that hard.
Ray Lampe joining us here on the show. drbbq.com, his website, if you want to check it out. Have you been to this particular event before in any form or fashion, or this is the first time in?
No, I haven't, but I've been to some like island type food and wine festivals, so I know what the vibe is. It'll be very fun.
Is that something like they have down in Miami where they have that big food and wine festival that Bobby Flay's at every year and stuff like that?
No, that's a lot of work. Those guys work hard down there. When they sign up to like Meatopia and then the Burger Bash and stuff that they have down there, they work hard. They have to feed 1,500 portions, and the people come and they pay like $300 for those tickets. So they have to really take care of the people. There's really a lot of food service involved. The one day I got to cook like a chop thing against Sam on the beach. So I don't know what that'll be, but that's just a couple hours of fun. Next day I get to judge the Taste of St. Croix. And then the third day I have to cook portions sampling for 500 people. I got to cook 50 slabs of ribs. But that's really all I have to do all week. So it's really a pretty great gig. And they'll wine us and dine us. It'll be a lot of fun. Duff is coming too. So Duff is always fun to hang out with.
Who's Duff?
Duff, the baker guy.
Oh, yeah, Duff, right. The Ace of Cakes or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he seems to be, I go back and forth. I find myself in a vacillating situation between wanting to hang out with that Buddy character and Duff. But Duff seems like he might be a little bit more apt to get loose after a few, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I'd want to punch that Buddy guy pretty soon.
Yeah,
I think
really?
I'd rather hang with Duff.
I think he puts on for the show. I don't think he's really like that because I think his wife would have pulled his throat out already.
Right, somebody would have killed him.
Yeah, I think he puts on a little bit. Ray Lampe joining us here on the show. One of the other things, Ray, that I wanted to touch on here before we get to some questions, and I have a Hall of Fame issue that I wanted to touch base with you since you're an expert on that because you're a Hall of Famer. Is you're working on a new book or a new book soon or however we're going to categorize it tonight, but you've had a number of books in the stable now and completed and successful, and here you are with yet another one coming out. So when can we expect this one, and are there more yet to be penned by now multiple-time author Ray Lampe?
Yes, this one's coming soon. Actually, I don't know, it's around here somewhere. Flavorize. I just got my copies today, so that's an indication that they'll start shipping them now to everybody. So that's why I was plugging it today online, because Amazon has been pre-selling it, but they'll probably start shipping them within about a week. Flavorize. I'm really proud of this one. It's a beautiful book, but it's all rubs, marinades, glazes, injections, and brines. And it's probably a dozen of each. And then each one also then has a recipe. So there's a lemon Chardonnay brine, and then there's a lemon Chardonnay brine chicken recipe. But then there's little icons that'll tell you what different meats you could use these brines and rubs and stuff with. So it's a really cool book. I think people are really going to like this and use it a lot. But it's beautiful. It's really a good looking book. So I'm all excited about this one.
This really kind of bucks the trend of here's X amount of here's X amount of hamburger recipes and pork rib recipes and chicken like the run of the mill stuff that you're seeing pretty much from everybody else. But to get, as you said, the flavorized stuff, the rubs and the injections and the brines and all this, the sauces, this is stuff that can not only be used in the barbecue aspect, but pretty much in everyday cooking, whether it be outside or in the kitchen.
Yeah, it definitely is all flexible. Of the recipes that I offered up, probably half are outside and half are inside, but I would say just about every one could go either way. It's just a suggestion, a way to get you started. Because when I was getting ready to write this book, I started looking at books about marinades and stuff. And it's, if it's just a list of brines, you don't know what to do with them. I didn't think it was very constructive. And that's what I kept seeing. A list of 50 marinades. Well, that's not very helpful. What do I do with this? If you're the creative type of cook, fine, you're going to take that marinade and know what to do with it. But most people are not. So let's, do the recipe I gave you first. And then if you say, well, gee, that marinade would be good with my rack of lamb, by all means do it. But it's a great way to get people started on it. Yeah, I really put a lot of thought into the structure of the book, because I don't want it to just be the obvious way that everybody else thinks you should do it. I want it to be usable for people. And I like to think, especially barbecue guys, they're all they're all like mixing together 3 different rubs and 3 different recipes and all this. So I think that they'll probably enjoy this.
Do you ever get feedback directly from the website, or I don't know if Amazon has, well, they have reviews and stuff. Do you ever kind of troll the internet to see what people are saying about recipes or books or reactions to that stuff?
Well, Amazon, they're general usually, and almost everyone is good. And so it's not that interesting. I keep an eye on it, because you just want to be interested in it. And I do get direct emails pretty regularly from people that generally either have a question about a recipe or they really like it. And man, I'll tell you, it really makes you feel good, because you work for years on this one project, and then you send these recipes out there and you don't really know. I can tell you how many thousand people bought the book, but I can't tell you how many thousand people made that meatloaf recipe. Maybe 0, maybe they all made it. I don't know. So it's really cool to hear feedback. And sometimes it's a question like, this is a little confusing to me, or do you think I could do this instead? But sometimes regularly you'll get stuff like today. And I posted about the new book, and somebody said, I really like that rub number 68. Man, that makes you feel really good, because it becomes kind of a business. I don't go looking on forums and stuff about it anymore. I did in the beginning. Like my first book, I was obsessive about it. But there also wasn't hundreds of barbecue books out there then. It was kind of big news.
Ray Lampe joining us here on the show. We're talking about the upcoming book Flavorize, which you can look on Amazon for. Check that out on Amazon.com, Flavorize in the search bar, or Ray Lampe. I'm sure it comes up under that way as well. Before I let you go, Ray, let me ask you something. As a Hall of Famer, newly inducted, you got a year in almost, I have made a very public plea to have me nominated. Now, nomination, of course, I know doesn't mean that if I don't get on the nomination part of it, I'm obviously not going to get into the Hall of Fame part of it. And and people listen to the show or they read a post, but they're only reading or hearing what they want to hear. They're not taking the context and the point that I'm trying to make, which is this, and I would love your take on this. My thought is this: if you have a Hall of Fame, soliciting nomination seems to be pulling at some sort of fabric of what a Hall of Fame is all about. For instance, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame or the NFL Hall of Fame, or go on down the lines of Halls of Fame, don't typically ask for people that you think that should be nominated. There's enough people that have accumulated over time that where the argument lies isn't if Ray should be in the Hall of Fame, or if Adam Perry Lang should be in the Hall of Fame, or if Mr. Weber should be in the Hall of Fame. They should all be in the Hall of Fame. inevitably the argument comes down to, well, he shouldn't be in now, or he should wait 3 more years, or this guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's never an argument about who should be in or who should not be in. So I'm wondering if you have any issue with the American Royal going out and at least soliciting nominations with all of the good people and all of the hundreds of years of barbecue history behind us that we can't fill, we in general terms, can't fill a Hall of Fame, however many nominees it's going to be over the course of a year. Get rid of the categories and just induct 3 or 4 or 5 people each year.
I have a lot of thought about this.
Please.
Time is, you said, the Baseball Hall of Fame, they don't solicit. No, of course not, because it's hundreds of years old. Have you been there to Cooperstown?
Yes, of course.
It's clearly well funded. There's a staff of people that work there. They're doing the research. They're contacting the Hall of Fame. This is so well established. The Barbecue Hall of Fame is brand new. I mean, it's in its infancy at this point. So I think that matter of fact, I'd say they should solicit more right now, because what we need is good nominations. In the early days of this, when Mike Tucker first was doing it online, I was on the secret list of people that saw the nominations, and there were almost none. There were we'd get a handful of them, and it would just say so and so should be in the Hall of Fame because they really cook great ribs, and it was this guy might have been legitimate, but the sell job was nothing. People didn't understand that they really needed to give us something to work with, because I may know the guy, I may not, but it wasn't fair for me to use my knowledge for this guy, and I don't have any for this guy, so automatically pick the guy I know about. You need to sell it. So I think people need to nominate more people and put the onus on them to then have to deal with all these nominations. Like you said, there's thousands of people in the country that should be in the Barbecue Hall of Fame. They obviously can't all go in right now for many reasons. A couple of the reasons are it would just water it down. It wouldn't be right.
Right.
It needs, I've been waiting to talk about this for a long time, but I didn't want to speak out.
No, please.
And look as though I was wanting to get into the Hall of Fame. Now that I'm in, I can say whatever I want.
Right.
I think we need more people in there. Yes, but it's going to take time. We can't rush everybody in. It's too bad that we didn't start this 20 years ago, because we have a lot of people. It's my hope that they will do the 3 things a year, the 3 guys a year for a little while longer, and then expand it. I don't necessarily agree with the categories, but it's a reasonable way to diversify the people that are getting in. I don't know if that's their intention, but I think it's working. Because otherwise maybe we would get all competition guys, or maybe we'd get all the celebrity people. So I think it's a reasonable way to diversify the early membership. And it's my hope that down the road, maybe we will have a day where 10 people come in this year. Every 5 years, we put in 10 guys just to get caught up, because there's so many people that need to be in there. But the last thing you got to remember, too, is funding. They gave us a little money to travel to Kansas City. They put on this party for us, a couple different parties. The trophies are not cheap at all. It's not free, and there's just not a lot of budget for it yet. So to take 10 people, I actually asked somebody today about Hall of Fame rings. Was that something that was in the future, and we would get those, or would be an option? I even said, I think most of the guys, understanding how new this is, would pay for their own ring if that was an option. But, we should have rings. Absolutely, we should. Everybody should get a first-class ticket to fly to Kansas City. All the Hall of Famers should be put up for the weekend. But there's clearly not the budget for that. We know that right now, and who knows when there will be. So, there's limitations. It's easy to say what should happen, but it is a functioning thing that's very new.
So why not do this instead? And let me play devil's advocate. If there isn't great funding for it, and I agree as far as rushing everybody in, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you have enough people in the proverbial stable right now where everybody doesn't have to get rushed in. You can have 3 or 4 or 5 a year, or whatever you want to do. You're not going to, in 4 years, everybody's not going to be inducted all of a sudden, and now you're fresh out of candidates. So There's plenty of people there. And again, I do have a personal issue with, categorizing things, especially, no offense, Ray, in the celebrity humanitarian part of it, because that's that portion of it is very weird for me in a lot of different fronts, and it's weird because I know what the deal is on some of that, and I don't think you or Adam should be party to that. You should be in on a different situation because you're not. You're not showing up on national television on Channel 3, pulling in billions of people because you have, and I'm talking about Guy, obviously. And look, nobody wants Guy more than me. Nobody wants to run down the street with him and get the cast-off poon than me. I want to have beers with him. I think he's a great guy, but there's no way he should be in the Hall of Fame. So I know why he's there, because he's Guy and he's got eyeballs and he's going to bring people. And I have a real problem with that when it comes down to the Hall of Fame, which...
No, really?
Yeah, for sure. So so it tracks back to the nomination thing because look, Ray, in a 50-50 scenario, I could be in the fucking Hall of Fame. Me. I mean, who wouldn't have a problem with that? Who wouldn't have a problem with that?
Well, I mean, I think you are a legitimate candidate. Might be a little early in your career to get in, is my opinion, but I think you're a legitimate candidate. For me, I look at guys that do different things, and you know how I feel about what you do. You've done this right. You have treated it seriously like a business. This isn't just we're sitting around drinking beer. You treat this like a real radio show, and it looks that way. It's professionally done, and that's why this is the one I do. You know that. So I think you're a legitimate candidate. I think there are thousands of legitimate candidates. And if you look at my speech that's on my website, I said, why am I here first? I don't know, but I'm happy to be here, and don't worry, we're coming to get y'all. So I now, as far as like the Guy thing, okay, we know that. I mean, Guy has been influential in barbecue. There's plenty of guys that might have been a better choice. I'm not going to deny that. I think he knows it too. But what can he give back? So you talk about me and Adam. Now I don't know what Adam. I can't tell you the story about Adam. I saw him in January. It's a very funny story, but I can't tell you. Adam, I am an advocate for the Barbecue Hall of Fame. So do I belong in that category? Who knows? I like to think I could have fit in any category, frankly. But I'm not insulted by that at all, because I am an advocate. Am I a celebrity? Well, I'm not a celebrity. It's on the Food Network every day. Am I influential? Well, contrary to what the Pork Barrel list a couple of years ago said, I think I am one of the more influential people in barbecue. So me speaking out positively about the Hall of Fame is a good thing. Same with Adam. People really like Adam. They really care what he has to say. Yeah, he's a really badass cook too, but Adam is one of them guys that people really are interested in what he has to say. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, technically, again, I don't know about business, but Adam clearly could have been in as a pitmaster, no question. And frankly, he's a pretty creative businessman in his own right. But we are influential. And think about it, building this thing from the ground up, yeah, it's easy to take shots at doing that. But you know what, why not put those people in there? What if some high-profile rock star wanted to be in? Oh, Joe Perry. Let's talk about Joe Perry. I don't know if he has barbecue sauce, but he has a hot sauce. Yeah. There's guys out there, rock stars that have barbecue sauce. Would it be wrong to put them in? Yeah, technically, maybe it would be kind of not right. But is it good for the whole big picture and for the whole industry? I think it is. So I'm not against it. The categories, to me, I'm not a huge fan of that. But I get it, and I do think it's diversifying the field early on. Because if we had a whole bunch of KC barbecue guys, nobody would take this thing serious. If it was all North Carolina guys, nobody would take it serious. If it was just all the guys that build pits, same thing. So we need the diversity. Some of them, well, whatever. You could question some of the guys that are in the Hall of Fame in baseball too.
A different argument for a different day. Ray Lampe joining us here on the show. DRBBQ.com. Ray, appreciate your thoughts on that. I ran over, but well worth it because I did want to kind of get your take on the whole thing. We'll do it again next month, my friend.
Sorry, but good to hear you, Greg. Take care. See you next time.
There he is, Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, for the weekly Ask Dr. Barbecue segment. I apologize in advance to Matt Barber as we ran long. I'm coming to get you, buddy. I'm coming to get you. Folks, let me talk to you quickly about Butcher Barbecue. That's right, no better or easier way to step up that barbecue and grilling game, then with Butcher Barbecue, you head on over to butcherbbq.com. You buy the injections, you buy the rubs, the sauces, and for crying out loud, you know, because it's on the front page of the shop, you get the new grilling oils. Bad news for me, folks. I'm out of the butter flavor. It's gone. It's gone. Steakhouse flavor is running a close second to being gonzo, and I got about half a Chipotle left. So I am through 3 bottles in 2 weeks because I'm quite frankly trying to figure out ways that maybe I can't use it. But the problem is I'm finding that I can use it on everything. And again, the flavor profile isn't over the top. So it's not a situation where if you drop some Chipotle grilling oil or some steakhouse grilling oil on a meat or chicken or vegetables or whatever you're going to use it on, that it's going to overpower something else that you might either have on it. It's going to work in conjunction with it very well. But I love the way that it cooks and it works with the food and it's lending moisture and the way it's kind of melting into the meat. I've had it on my grilled salads. I've had it on grilled asparagus. I'm using it as a base coat for my chicken wings before I put it on, the rub that is. So this is stuff that I am really, really excited about, and I want you to hear my enthusiasm. It's real, and I want you to go to butcherbbq.com, and I want you to hook up with exactly the same stuff that I am getting. ButcherBBQ.com. That's ButcherBBQ.com. Hit store and then find the grilling oils. They're right there in the front. Order plenty. Don't worry about breaking the bank when it comes to shipping either. Items totaling up to $55. Ship at $8.55. Sorry, $8.50. Between $55 and $200. Ship at $9.75. Anything over $200. Ships for free. And the trade-in link as well for injections if you're not happy with what you got. You can trade it in with David as long as it's commercial-based. Send what you don't like back to Dave. He will ship you back and return some Butcher Barbecue product at that weight as well. Don't forget, all of his weights are final. It's the trade-in link at butcherbbq.com. I mean, what can't you get there anymore? Quite incredible. Get the grilling oils. Try them out. Trust me, you're going to be happy you did. ButcherBBQ.com. That's ButcherBBQ.com. Matt Barber from Hot Wachulas right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Get in the smoke. Call 874-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Thanks again to Ray Lampe for joining me this past segment. We did run long. I apologize. Joining me now, a man riding a wave of competitive awesome. The likes that maybe we haven't seen for, dare I say, at least a couple years. He is the pitmaster of Hot Wachulas. You can find him at hotwachulas.com. You can find him kicking your ass on the KCBS and FBA competition circuits. And a friend of the show, Matt Barber, joining me. Matt, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Great, man. I appreciate the time and also appreciate you hanging in there as we ran a little long with Dr. Barbecue as we were bantering back and forth about the Barbecue Hall of Fame. With the way you're cooking, Matt, you might be getting in this year as well. Do you have thoughts on the Barbecue Hall of Fame, the way it sits, and how people are getting in the categories and stuff like that, or could you care less? Hello?
And I remember Reagan.
Matt?
Can you hear me?
Hey, there you are. Uh-oh. Hello?
Move around here.
Matt, I'm going to call you right back. What's that? Hello, Matt. Hello, Matt. Hello? Oh. Got to call the right number. We'll get him back up here. Let's see. Florida boy, hometown proud.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Matt. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Lick your finger and stick it out the window. No. You there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. I got you now.
Yeah, but no, I remember Ray getting nominated last year, but other than that, that's about the only thing I know about the Hall of Fame.
All right. Well, I have been following it intently, and I have all too many thoughts and opinions laid out about it, but I'm not going to bore you with it tonight, Matt, because quite frankly, you're on a streak of seismic and gargantuan proportion. Correct me if I am wrong here, but are you currently are you 6 of 7 wins now?
This year there was, I didn't do good. I had a bad cook at the Kissimmee KCBS. So I think I came in seventh there, but I got $6,000 this year. So I'm not complaining.
That's $6,000 since the turn of the year, right?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. And then so this past grand, because of the one or two that you had, previous to last year, that fits into the 7 for the Auto 7 for the Jack Daniels, correct?
Yeah. The 7th, I guess, would have been the Plant City one.
So here you are at this past weekend's event. You're in, where were you guys? At the 8th Annual Smoke on the Water Barbecue Festival in Thomaston, Georgia. Is that a hike for you, or is it fairly close-ish?
That's about 7 hours away.
Oh, geez. So that's a hike.
It was a...
Hello? Matt?
I keep trying to move around.
Anchor down.
Hello?
There you go.
Okay.
So is that a higher end of travel for you? 7 hours or so?
That's on the long end. I mean, especially for a day trip. I'll be hitting some ones a lot further away, but I'm going to try and stop a little bit. Not make it all in one trip. But I ended up getting there about 3 in the morning because I ended up having to work till 5 o'clock. But that's our sickness. That's what we do.
So you're working work until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you're loading in at 3 o'clock in the morning, which would be Saturday, or is this a Thursday and a Friday type of deal?
That'd be like Friday or Thursday night or Friday morning, 3 a.m.
Oh my God! So that's and are you just loading in, or you start to unpack and you're getting into your whole situation? Or you rest up before you bother prepping and all that stuff. Or is that already done already?
I'll just pull in and crash.
Yeah.
And then I still do all my prep at the contest. It's just part of my habit and ritual.
Have you ever thought about? I hear a lot of people do. I don't know if they're doing the brisket, but I know everybody is doing chicken, in advance. Have you ever done that before?
Yeah, I've done it before. And it does contest, but for me, it's just kind of a mellow time. It keeps me from drinking too much.
So you're using the ever hated chicken prep to make sure you're not sucking back on too much Grandpa's old cough medicine.
Yeah. Because then you're like, hey, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, oh shit, I forgot to prep my ribs.
Yeah, can't have that.
At least that way, it kind of helps keep me focused and out of trouble.
So when you look at the field that you are up against, you take grand champion, Wooly Bully Barbecue Mafia, very close in a reserve fashion, less than half a point. But you have Jack's Old South, and Sweet Smoke Q, and Ernest Cervantes at Burnt Bean hauls over from Texas, and Winks is in the mix, and Pit Crew, and Diva Q's Top 10, and Blitzkrieg is there, and you got Big Mo that rolls down in all the way down. I mean, Big Papa's Country Kitchen, a number of FBA wins and Team of the Year to his credit as well. I mean, this, at least from 1 to 20, let alone the fact that you pulled damn near 60 teams in, 1 to 20 was a who's who. Anybody could have won that thing.
Yeah, there's usually a lot of teams at that contest. They usually have at least 60 teams. There's a lot of locals, but there's always 15 to 20 teams that could walk away with it in a year.
Are you just riding an incredibly good streak right now? Have you dialed in any profiles or changed any profiles over this particular run of awesome?
Everybody's asking me what I'm doing that's different. Other than I'm able to roll up 20s really small and stuff them inside my chicken thighs, I'm doing the exact same thing.
Wow. So is it, I guess from a devil's advocate point of view, because you've been having such very good results, are you waiting for another shoe to drop, or you just figure you've had such sustained very good results that there's no reason that this shouldn't continue all the way until you want to, stop for the year?
Well, I mean, I'm not taking anything for granted. I mean, it's, all I can do is, do my best and pray for the rest. It's, I haven't really changed anything other than, just trying to pay a little bit more attention to some of the finer details. If it's, tasting it more before it goes in the box, so, give myself an opportunity to tweak the final seasoning if I need to, or, it's just, it's weird. And I don't know, it's obviously that my flavor profiles are hitting, and I think part of that is just because it's different than what everybody else is using apparently at this time. So,
are you
I'm going to change anything anytime soon.
Are you using your own stuff right now, or do you use commercial stuff that's available?
It's all my own stuff, my own rub, and my own sauce.
Oh, so have you noticed that there's a little bit more traffic around the Mad Barber camp to, especially around the prep time and the seasoning time, to see what the hell's going on over there?
Yeah, there's a lot more smack being talked, so. But other than that, no, there's not a whole lot of traffic. There's a whole lot of questions around the campfire, though.
Well, you are experiencing a great run, my friend. Where are you going to be at next?
This weekend I'll be in Dothan, Alabama. And then the weekend after that, I'll be in Venice. And then after that, I think I'm going to be in either Kannapolis or Lexington. I can't remember, in North Carolina.
So you're going to do that Venice situation. My parents have been out there a couple times hanging out with Chef, cooked it in the past, but I got to chase my pops down there and have him taste some of your food so he can do a embedded report for me in a couple weeks, if that's right. I'll hook you guys up. Matt Barber is the pitmaster of Hot Wachulas. He is fresh off another Grand Championship win at the 8th Annual Smoke on the Water Barbecue Festival in Thomaston, Georgia. That he will also be going to the Jack Daniels this year on the strength of 7 wins within that allotted time frame. So, Matt, again, congratulations and continued success. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again sooner than later.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. There he is. Matt Barber cutting the proverbial hairs off of FBA and KCBS teams alike right now. Really having a incredible run and continued success to him. It's always great to see good folks doing good for the barbecue community get theirs. Well-deserved, my friend. Sorry for cutting you short there, but I ate up about 7 minutes of that segment. I apologize. You'll get it back. Karma to you, man. Public service announcement to all the barbecue brothers and sisters from your show sponsor, Steve DeFranco of Stephen DeFranco Jewelers. He is a barbecue junkie. Here we go. I told you about it last week. I was going to go get it, and it is back in the house. My grandfather's ring, all fixed. The shank on the bottom there, that was cracked, believe it or not. That was completely cracked. It's cracked right there. Couldn't wear it anymore. And I'm telling you, I've been through this ring with microscope, lens, and binoculars trying to figure out where they cut out the old gold and put in the new gold. And I'm telling you, you can't tell a difference. These guys are artists. At the very least, they're artists. But to save a piece of jewelry for me, that means more than anything, because it allows me to carry on the memory of my grandfather, my dad's dad, and also honor the person that I saw him as I was growing up as a young child, and obviously through adulthood until he passed away. So, I guess the good and the bad news is that since I only have daughters, the good news is this ring is coming with me to the grave. That's right. Sorry. This does not go to girls. It just goes to men. The bad news, this is going with me to the grave. That's all right. It's going to be bad. Go to Steve's website, StephenDeFranco.com. Peruse the inventory if you have some repair situations like I had with my ring. Give him a call, 440-943-2700. That's 440-943-2700. Tell him you're a barbecue brother or sister, and he'll give you the real discounted prices on the stuff that you're looking at, or he'll be able to counsel you on repair or purchases, stuff like that. Again, 440-943-2700, or visit StephenDeFranco.com. I can't thank him enough for the work that he did on that ring. It's absolutely spectacular. All right, quick out. We'll be back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right. This is going to be a very, very quick out. How quick? We're going to be back in about 2 seconds. Stick around.
This is Chad Hayden with Moose Runners Barbecue's 19th annual Jack Daniel's World Barbecue Champion, and this is Barbecue Central.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan. So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish, what?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shake a face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Ooh, top men.
All right, just like that, we are into the second hour. That's right. Folks, you found the Barbecue Central Show. This is a show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. We broadcast live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. Well known as the barbecue capital of the North Coast, I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday. If you want to jump in on the show tonight, this segment, end of the hour in about 50 minutes, more than happy to have you doing that. 216-220-0966, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Here are two ways to get in touch with me. Everything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. Ever wanted to sponsor the show or partner with the show or do something promotional with the show? It's where you get a hold of me. You can also email me, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. This portion of the Barbecue Central Show is being brought to you by cookinpellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets. For all your pellet-driven cookers, visit cookinpellets.com for more info or to purchase. You can also visit and purchase Amazon.com as well. They're a pretty big outfit. Amazon.com. So thanks to the good folks at cookinpellets.com. Still to come tonight on the show, Scott Nelson of Pigskin Barbecue and Jesse Henry of Moving the Chains Barbecue. So second hour, all competition. I did see somebody write, it was a little bit ago, that I was having hot and cold audio. Did anybody else get that? Was anybody else getting high audio levels and then dropping down to the low audio levels. Things that I'm trying out tonight. Just wanted to know. Thank you for keeping me in the loop. Folks, the 2015 Sam's Club Series rolled into Renton, Washington this past weekend. As I mentioned earlier, this is a local qualifier sending top 6 teams to the regional final. That will take place again in Las Vegas, Nevada on April 25th. Those teams moving on to the finals are, and in particular order, we'll have them on in about 30 minutes from now. Moving the Chains Barbecue with a 680 and 6/10. Reserve Grand Champ, a perennial favorite to win any competition barbecue event. Wine Country Q with Reserve with a 673. Dances with Smoke Barbecue third. Smoky Barbecue Washington, or WA, depending on how they actually want it. I'll give you both. That's a 4th place finish. 5th place, Bad Bones Barbecue, and rounding out the top 6th, Uff de Q. Uff de Q? Uf de Q? It's UFF, like Uniform Fox, Delta Alpha Quebec. UFFDAQ. Uff de Q or Uf de Q. The points discrepancy between 1st and 6th, pretty healthy to the tune of 26 points or thereabouts. Even between Grand and Reserve was over 7 points. So Jesse Henry certainly had his way with the field over in Renton, Washington this past weekend. Special shout out, honorable mention to Diane Mee with the house. Good finish. I mean, didn't get top 6 this year, but still a very respectable finish. So congratulations for getting out there and showing your might and wit. The next Sam's Club event will be going this weekend, April 11th. In no other place than Salt Lake City, Utah, home of Wonderful Barbecue, known for Wonderful Barbecue. And you can check them out there at the Salt Lake City, Utah Sam's Club. Good luck to all those competing out there in that neck of the country. And again, thanks to Sam's Club for coming back on with the show. It was a little contentious, a little heated with the back and forth of negotiations, but after we settled on bags and bags of cash, they decided that they were in again. I was in again, and we'll run it through the end of the season like we did last year. So always good to have Sam's Club on board with the show, adding some nice legitimacy to this particular show that covers the sport and art of grilling or outdoor live fire cooking. Let's take a quick look at the KCBS Team of the Year standings, top 5 right now. Currently sitting atop, he was on the show a couple weeks ago. Travis Clark and Clark Crew Barbecue Team is currently sitting in the lead. You have Qin, Stewin, and Bruin in second, Fire Dancer Barbecue third, Checkered Pig fourth, and Jack's Old South currently sitting in the 5th position. So lots of jockeying going on week in and week out. Patrick Paquette, this show makes the Sam's Tour legit, not the other way around. Man's game, Patrick, you're right. Now people are going to actually shop at Sam's instead of just making fun of them. Then we'll move over to the Florida Barbecue Association Team of the Year standings, updated as of 3/28/15 or so. The website said he was just on the show. He's sitting atop the leaderboard of the FBA as well. Matt Barber, Hot Wachulas. You knew it. Second place, current FBA reigning champ, Jim Elser, Sweet Smoke Q. That's right. 1 and 2 hasn't changed hardly at all for weeks and weeks. Blitzkrieg Barbecue third, Swamp Boys Barbecue fourth, and a former Team of the Year, Big Papa's Country Kitchen, rounding out the top 5. So there you go. KCBS standings, FBA standings. I don't think there's any other standings that I'm really missing or that are published. I see Doug Scheiding is in, or he was in the chat room. Are there Team of the Year points anywhere in the Texas stuff, Doug, that I'm missing that I need to include? Do I need to do that? I want to make sure that I'm not being told that I'm playing favorites. IBCA Incognito is number 1. All right, way to go. Last place in the FBA, Shamrock Barbecue. Well, at least not. Well, at least. Whoa. Matt, you've been getting through the beers pretty well, my friend. Watch out. Maybe you meant to say, well, at least I'm not in last place, right? All right, let's see. Doug just sent me a link. All right, top 5 in the... is this... Oh, wow. What a horrific website. ICAB. IBCA. Jeez, oh, Pete. Okay, well, I can't read either. Incognito. Blazing Barbecue. Number 3. One Man Pits. Number 4. Smokin' Lone Star. Rounding out the top 5. Boot Co. Or Boot Company, maybe. Congrats. Just outside the top 5, there he is, Clarence Joseph, Mama and Papa Joe's Barbecue. Look at that. Where's Doug at? Doug, are you out here? Rogue Cookers? Where's Rogue Cookers at? Let's travel down the Ernest Cervantes. It's 38th. Doug, you know your number. Call your number out in the chat room so you don't make me fish for it. I can't count that high. It's so far down there. Where are you, Doug? Greg, that's my team. Yes and yes. Well down the list. Sorry. Oh, wait, there you are. 748,000th out of 748,007. Good for you. Good for you, Doug. Doug is my Texas correspondent, by the way. Here's what I want to say, by the way. If you cover a particular sanctioning body, or maybe it's something that doesn't necessarily have contests under their own rules, but like a NEBS or a Pacific Northwest, or something along these Iowa Barbecue Society or something like that, and there's newsworthy on a fairly regular basis, and you want to be a correspondent, I would like to at least re-explore the potential of carving out a segment on this show, maybe at the 9:35 or maybe at the 10:35 segment, where during the course of a weekend, each correspondent, we can call it like Around the Pit or Smoke Screen or something catchy that I would have to come up with. And everybody calls in at a designated period of time on a Sunday, let's say, and gives me 1 minute of breakdowns. And you can just you can give the results of contests around your area, or you can break down what a pitmaster or 2 pitmasters might be doing, or it doesn't have to do with anything in competition, just around your area with barbecue and grill, something like that. I know we had some people kind of take up for that when I had originally brought it around, but I would like to potentially revive that. So if you have some interest, looks like Patrick Paquette might have interest. I know Doug is in. Probably need a West Coast correspondent. We need a Northwest correspondent, Southeast correspondent. You got to be able to talk. You got to be able to bring some energy and excitement. You got to be able to craft some words and get them out of your mouth properly. I know, hurdles for some. Just kidding. Let me talk to you for a few minutes about the longest running sponsor of the show. Located in Warminster, Pennsylvania, the Barbecue Guru. Gang, if you've been thinking about automatic pit temperature control devices, this is the company that started it. Why are you going to look anywhere else? Stop. You're being ridiculous. You're looking funny, and you're embarrassing your wife and children. Not familiar with how these little beauties work? Well, look, I'm not a scientist, and I don't even play one on the radio. But imagine a product that allows you to set your pit temperature, and once set, keeps it running at that temperature all the way through the cook. Sound too good to be true? It's not. This is real life. You can take advantage of this technology right today. Now, maybe you are a busy working professional like me, or perhaps you're constantly on the run with kids, doing errands like me. Quite frankly, you just don't have the time to set around and tend pit temperatures. I get it. I'm there. The Guru allows you to throw on a pork butt or a brisket or a couple slabs of ribs or all that, and then you're off to do whatever it is you need to get done. And the Guru maintains that pit temperature you set it at. Got like 4 or 5 different models to choose from. Hit up their website for full details. But I can tell you that if you are somebody that might want to control multiple cookers at one time, take internal temperatures of multiple meats at one time, CyberQ Wi-Fi is something you're definitely going to want to take a look at. It has all that capability. Now, maybe you're looking for a cruise control for the pit. Party Q is definitely where you're going to want to go. $149 to start, easiest point of entry for automatic pit temperature control devices for sure. Runs on AA batteries, goes from one cooker to the next. I affectionately refer to it as the hooker of automatic pit temperature control devices. And you can use one or both on the Onyx oven. That's right, the Onyx oven is a cooker that the Guru makes, winning on competition circuits as well as in backyards all over the country for years. Fully insulated, holds a ton of meat, accommodates half and full pans for food service. And you know it works seamlessly with all of the Guru automatic pit temperature control devices. Do yourself a favor, head on over there right now, thebbqguru.com. Check out their products. And if you have any questions, for crying out loud, call them directly, 800-288-GURU. 800-288-GURU. They'll make sure you're outfitted with exactly what you need to get you up and running right out of the box. 800-288-GURU or thebbqguru.com. The Barbecue Guru remains a breakthrough in barbecue technology. Scott Nelson, Pigskin Barbecue, out of the break. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Your 2 bits of contact information. Don't forget, still to come, in about 20 minutes from now, Jesse Henry moving the Chains Barbecue to recap the local Sam's event that he won this past weekend. But joining me now, a longtime friend of the show, seen a lot of success on the competition circuit, to include this past weekend's take. It's Smoking on Big Creek Barbecue Contest, benefiting Operation Barbecue Relief. The pitmaster of Pigskin Barbecue and friend o' mine, Scott Nelson, joining me here on the show. Scotty! What's up, brother?
Yip, skibbity doo. I'm on the Barbecue Central Show. Loving life, man. How are you?
You've made it. That's right. Hang it up. What's next? Barbecue Hall of Fame?
Well, I think you're going to the Barbecue Hall of Fame from what I've been hearing, right? We got all these petitions going out.
That's right.
You got to be like the next one in.
It's the proverbial grassroots movement that have taken hold to at least get me on the see. Here's the thing. It's like, nomination only gets you so far. You still got to get through the wall of actually getting, the nod. But if you're not at least on the nomination sheet, you think I'm a lock?
You got to be a lock. I mean, you're from Cleveland, like the football capital of the world, right? Johnny Manziel, you got Dwayne Bowe, the worst wide receiver in the NFL on your team now.
Yeah, Josh Gordon, we've had him too, right?
Yeah, you're right.
You know what they call Cleveland Stadium, right? You know what it's affectionately known to us as?
What is that called?
The Factory of Sadness. It's not a joke, by the way. Every time I go past that thing, I shed a tear because of the misery that has accompanied us since 1999 when the Browns came back. But that's a different discussion for a different day. Scott Nelson joining us here, the pitmaster of Pigskin Barbecue. Scott, big weekend this past. You take grand championship honors at the Smoking on Big Creek Barbecue Contest. That, of course, benefiting Operation Barbecue Relief. So you had just a shade over 70 teams, 71 to be exact. You've competed in events that are, substantially smaller. You've competed in events substantially bigger. When you see attendance of an event like this, does it kind of get the juices flowing a little bit more, especially seeing, some of those other teams that were kind of smattered in there looking to take the crown?
Oh, absolutely. It was a great contest put on by, a great organization, stacked with great teams. I mean, we love that contest. We cooked it 3 or 4 years now, and obviously this is finally our year. So it's great to go there. We were pumped. We were excited to come away with the win, and we were just excited to be out there cooking again. It's like you get back in the barbecue season. It's like a family reunion. You get to see everybody that you missed all winter, and it's a lot of fun.
Is this the first one in for you guys this year?
No, it's our second one in, but it still feels like the first one. The first one, you're just shaking the rust off, trying to figure out which smoker you're going to put what meat in again, right? So it was good to get things gelled a little bit. We got all the kinks worked out a couple weeks ago down at David Cole's contest, and then it came together good for us last weekend.
So you have in the individual chicken or meat categories. Obviously, we start with chicken. Hotly contested between 1 and 3. Everybody's in the 178, so you have tenths and hundreds of points separating everybody. KCQ wins chicken, but you get a great chicken score at 178, so kind of near perfect-ish. How did you feel about chicken that day? And I got to imagine it's always good to get that kind of first call to feel like you got some momentum running through the rest.
Oh, yeah, man. To get a chicken call is always a great start to a contest, especially for us. I think last year we cooked 19 contests that counted, or no, 17 that counted, something like that. And I think we cooked maybe 16 different chicken recipes. But a couple of weeks ago when we were down at Qual's contest there, we ran across a sauce guy who gave us some sauce. We tried it out on the second day, got a chicken call. We tried it out again last weekend and got second place chicken. So we were more than excited. I thought the chicken was a little underdone personally, but the judges liked it. And my son, Ben, who's probably the best palate in our family, he loved it. He told me when it was done. He said, "This is the best chicken you cooked in a while." So he was right.
So I got to ask, you ran into a sauce guy down at Qual's. I mean, that could be anybody. If we're talking about David Qualls, who knows what sauce you're talking about out there?
That's the point. I mean, I can't give away all my secrets here tonight. It's a sauce, and it's sweet with a little bit of heat. Does that give any clue?
Yeah,
like
that narrows it down. All right, jeez.
Right.
That's every sauce in the grocery store as well anymore these days.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so
it worked well so far, but I'm not guaranteeing we're going to stick with it. But so far, it's hitting now.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you got Chicken Man Ben telling you your money in the chicken, then you got to know it's a lock for sure. So you get the call in chicken, and then your second place again in pork ribs. Another good score, solid score. So 2 second places in as many categories. So you got to be, feeling pretty good, or at least starting to feel pretty good about some of the overall aspects.
Yeah, I really loved our ribs at our first cook of the year, and these ribs are great too. We switched this year to Duroc Compart ribs. They are the bomb. So we really have loved them. We practiced with them a lot this winter, and they came together really good at the contest at Pleasant Hill. So I was very pleased to get a call with them.
What were you?
They scored where they deserved to.
What were you using before?
We were using Sam's Club ribs, 3 in a pack. That's what we used basically from day one until we got the Duroc sponsorship this year. So Duroc is they're a great freaking product, man. It works out well.
You were using Sam's Club.
You know about Duroc? Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I mean they're like the Wagyu of pork, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's got a higher pH, so it's got the more red color, which equals it's got more hydrogen ions, lesser acidity. Just makes a better product. It's juicier. It's more tender. It's good stuff.
Are you a doctor or something throwing out terms like that?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well,
my friends say I'm not a real doctor because I'm a chiropractor, but I can line you up.
Yeah, that's right. Guess what? I can be a chiropractor. Not really, of course not. So you were using Sam's Club baby back ribs?
No, spares. We were still using spares.
And they were coming in packs of 3?
Yep, packs of 3.
Oh, my God. Wow. So, I mean, obviously you've noticed a substantial difference. Have you, what's the question that I want to ask properly? If you hadn't gotten or secured a Compart or Duroc Compart sponsorship, whatever that means,
right.
Would you have gone out and started purchasing these on your own this season?
You know what? I would love to say that I would have, but I really didn't know about the ribs that well.
Really?
So I've used the Duroc pork last year, their pork butts, and we loved them. And I never even we were kind of happy with our ribs. A couple of years ago we were Team of the Year in ribs, so we were kind of happy with them. But then last year they kind of fell off, and so in the meantime we met Jim, and he kind of decided he was going to take on some teams. So he's sponsoring a dozen teams or something like that on the KCBS circuit this year, and we were lucky enough to be one of them out there using this product, and they're holding their own, man. They're showing their worth right now.
Scott Nelson joining me here on the show, pitmaster of Pigskin Barbecue. We're talking about the win this past weekend. As far as ribs are concerned, Scott, and this is, I guess, is a little bit more of a holistic question. You see, or you've seen the trend go to the more expensive Wagyus. Now I'm seeing the trend go to the Duroc pork that you were talking about. Now the ribs, of course, you've seen. I don't know if there's specialty chicken yet, but, the smart chicken or, this kind of skin or free range with no cages or, whatever. I mean, it seems to be Here's the thing, right? I think
Well,
that,
free range means they just need to be able to see outside, right? Isn't that what that is? No,
of course, that's right. You can still band their
There's a
neck and
window that's
legs.
free
Yeah, that's right. But is there a dangerous road that nobody might be able to come back from at this point by having all of the specialized stuff? Because, look, specialized means cash. Cash means more expense for the weekend, and if you're not winning, you're not getting money back, and everybody wants to win something, and all of a sudden you're losing your ass in many different fashions.
I totally understand that point, and I get it completely. For us, we put a lot of time and effort into barbecue. We cook all the time at home. I just put a kitchen in my third stall garage with a TV and a smoke room off to the side just so we can practice more efficiently and make it more efficient. So we're willing to spend what it takes to be able to put ourselves in the best situation that we feel like where we want to be to able to win. Now, I understand that everybody can't do that or doesn't want to do that. I still think you can win with any product. It's just about how you cook it and the amount of air that you can have and still put out a good product. So, I mean, if you're willing to put the time and the effort in, I think you can go buy, Sam's Club or Walmart or Hy-Vee stuff and do well. I prefer to have the better stuff because you're cooking, we're cooking 20 contests a year. Some teams are out there cooking 5 a year. And to me, if you're going to go out there, you want to have a good time, number one, and you want to give yourself the best opportunity that you can to win. So in order to win, we're not one of those teams that can go out there and just cook, throw meat on the grill and hope it comes out. For us to do any good, I got to cook 20 times more than everybody else because we must forget what we do, or we just need more practice, whatever it is. We love to put the time in, and we love barbecuing. So anyway.
Do you think that the top teams or the teams that are winning that might be chasing a national championship or whatever the case may be, that because of the now growing use, I won't say widespread use because maybe teams just can't afford it, but do you think that the judges' palates become accustomed to tasting that and associating that with winning product or winning flavor profiles than some of the other stuff?
Yeah, you got a point. I mean, there's definitely a different chew to it than there is to some of the other products out there. So I could see where, that different chew would be associated with, wow, this is cooked properly, even though the difference is really just the quality of the meat. I mean, if you're going to go out there and barbecue, why not barbecue with the best quality of meat? That's the way I look at it. If I'm going to do it, if I had to cut back to doing only 5 contests and be able to put out what I feel like was the best product, the judges might not agree, but what I feel like is the best product, then that's what I do. But we're in a situation where we're lucky enough that we can cook as many as we can fit in, and it works out.
Let me dumb it down for everybody else. Scott Nelson just said, shell out or STFU. That's right. Come on. Put your money where your mouth is. All right, we diverged a little bit here. You did really well in pork, also 4th overall, 176.5. I mean, hitting 3 out of the first 3 categories, I mean, now you really got to be thinking, because the first 2 were 2nd overall, now you got a 4th. You really got to be thinking, hey, if brisket doesn't S the bed, we're probably going to be in a position to win this thing.
Well, you know how barbecue is. I mean, we've cooked many contests and had 3 high calls and not 1.
Yeah.
There's especially in teams like this, or when there's teams like this at a contest, there's a lot of good teams there. There's Tippy had 2 high calls. There was other teams that had 2 calls. I mean, so nothing was locked in stone, but we felt pretty good about it. We thought we had a good chance, except for until I tell you the brisket story.
Well, so that's the thing, right? I foreshadow saying S the bed with brisket because as you scroll down, you see pigskin as a 23rd, and you're like, man, what the hell? So what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Well, as much as we practice, I still don't know what a good burn end is from a bad burn end. So anybody that's given lessons on that, I'd be more than willing to take them. We decided going into this week, after last week, I thought I cooked the perfect brisket, didn't score well, or 2 weeks ago, I guess it was. But I put burn ends in, I thought, well, it had to be the burn ends because the slices were perfect. So we mixed up the injection, and we got quite a bit of spice in our injection. And when I was injecting, I had a few cocktails before I started to do it. And I put the needle a little too low, and I sucked up quite a bit of spices. Well, we went to the brisket was cooked perfectly, but we went to slice the brisket, sliced it up, and we tasted. We usually taste the front end and the back end. Tasted the front end, it was good. Tasted the back end, it was like you just took a bite of lava. It was fucking hot. So and luckily, we also decided that it was a good time to try and trim our brisket to box size, so we could get the smoke ring on both ends of the brisket. So we trimmed it to box size, but when I was trimming it, I made a mistake, and it was only the second time I've done it. I kind of cut it short, so we only had about 10 slices that we could get out of the brisket total. And we didn't turn in any burnt ends, so we're trying to turn in about 9 slices. So we ended up having to put some hot slices in the back, and you could tell which judges got the slices that needed to drink about a bottle of water afterwards.
All right, so you had a little bit of a burning brisket that dropped you down a little bit. So let me ask you. I mean, you'd mentioned it a couple minutes before. You've had 3 high calls before and not one. So do you, because you don't get the brisket and because of the way the flavor was hitting you guys, did you think it was worse than it actually was?
I thought it was still good. You know, I've had a lot of teams that I consider to be really good teams briskets, and to me, they taste a lot like roast beef. I mean, I think roast beef or just beefy flavor brisket is scoring, but we're not. I don't know. We're stuck in not doing the same thing all the time. We like to try new things. We like to get new tools. We like to experiment with flavors consistently. So we're trying to add some extra element of depth and flavor into our brisket. So I knew it was hot. I knew it was going to be a little different than what they were used to, but I was hoping that it wouldn't annihilate us. I was hoping they would go, oh, that's good. I was hoping we had all judges that love heat. But it was a little too much heat in hindsight. Next time I got to make sure I keep the needle up a little bit.
There you go. Pigskin wins overall grand champ. So when they call your name, I mean, you know, second contest into the year, you got to feel, you know, good to win in the second one out of the chute, but then to kind of come over the top of 71 teams has got to be a whole unique victory in itself.
Yeah, it was fantastic. You know, there's no feeling like winning. Everybody's out there to win and put the best fight up they can, and when it's your turn to get that victory, it's just great. You know, you want to dance around, do cartwheels, do backflips without looking so fat and out of shape, whatever it takes to get that energy expressed. You know, it was great. We had a good time.
How many events do you and the family have planned this year in 2015 so far?
We got our schedule written down for a little while. I think we're going to try and get close to 20 again. It's hard. We got 5 kids. You know, my oldest is 16, my youngest is 7. So we got a lot of activities going on. So we're going to take a trip out west for a couple contests. And we're basically, other than that, we're going to stick around close to home. We're going to try and get close to 17 to 20 in again this year.
You guys still elite team this year?
We are, yep.
What do you?
He's a good friend of mine. You know, he's a big help in what we do, too. I love his rubs. We'll talk to him pretty consistently. He's the guy that I can bounce stuff off of when we're using stupid stuff like, hey, let's wrap our pork with chocolate and see if that works. If we tried that, that doesn't work out.
What?
Oh, yeah, man. I told you we like to use weird stuff. I thought, you know, chocolate sounds good. We've wrapped our pork with chocolate sauce. No, this is a practice cook, not a contest.
Oh, okay. I was like, dude.
We tried wrapping our brisket with truffle. Neither one of those turned out too well.
Yeah, well. I thought you did it at a contest. I was be like, look, you don't need to bother anybody that knows what they're doing. You can just call me, and I can tell you that was that was ridiculous. That's all right. You got to try it, right?
Yeah, you got to try. You know, we're always looking for that edge. There's some way to get that flavor that just pops in your mouth, and people are like, that was the best.
Do you keep up with any of the other sanctioning bodies? And specifically, I'm talking about one. Hot Wachulas, the pitmaster Matt Barber, who's having quite a hot run here over the last 6-7 contests, and he's winning in both the Florida Barbecue Association, and he's also having his hand in KCBS a little bit too.
Outstanding. No, actually, like I said, we have 5 kids, so we're pretty busy. We try and focus on what we can, but I haven't seen him. No, but that's exciting. That's cool.
Would you like to cook up against him like immediately and be like, hey, let's throw down?
I would absolutely be all for that. Let's do it. The sooner the better.
Barbecue Central Throwdown, first annual. Pigskin versus Hot Wachulas. We're going to meet at the Factory of Sadness so we can finally get some type of happiness into this thing. Jeez, oh, Pete. Yeah, we have to look into that, right? I mean, we could make up our own rules. It wouldn't be sanctioned by anybody. I could take payouts and make all the money. It would be great. Love it.
I think that sounds great, man. I mean, we both have to incorporate chocolate in a barbecue somehow.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be like a chopped contest and, all this other barbecue crap. Where are you going to be at next?
Well, next we're going to be at St. Joe, Missouri as Pigskin, but our next contest coming up is Memphis in May. We put a team together for Memphis in May. For the 3rd year in a row, we're going to go down there and try and throw our hat or our bung in the barrel or whatever the hell you call it. We're going to try and win. We're
still talking about barbecue, right? All Are you going to do shoulder or ribs, or are you going to go broke and go whole hog?
Oh man, we're doing shoulder. We did ribs the first year. We did shoulder last year. We were real close. We got straight 10s from the onside judges, and we turned in with Chris Lilly, who obviously a great pit master. He beat us head to head on the blind table, so we didn't make finals. But this year we're going to we stepped up our game a little bit. We got 5 good teams here from Iowa that they're all put together. You know, to cook Memphis in May, it's crazy expensive. It's silly.
Yeah.
But so that's why we got to put 5 teams in to do it. We're going to go down there. We're going to do whole shoulder. See how it comes together.
Who's making up this star-studded team?
We got Tippy Canoe, Big T's, A Boy and His Barbecue, Swine Assassins, and Lucky Chew. And they're all going to be in my garage this weekend doing a practice cook. One more practice cook, by the way.
Practice? You mean practice vomiting from all the drinking that's going to be going on? I know you people. I've seen you people before. Oh, my God. It's going to be a who's who of crazy drunken buffoonery. It's going to be great, actually.
We party like those Missouri guys, man. We were hanging out with them last weekend. Those guys can drink us under the table.
Well,
I'm getting old now, Greg.
Believe me, I hear you. It's really bad when you're thinking, man, I'm going to get lit up tonight, and then the next thought is, boy, I'm going to feel really bad tomorrow. Maybe I just won't. That's a whole different line of demarcation that we fit. Scott Nelson is the pitmaster of Pigskin Barbecue, and they are fresh grand champs at the Smokin' on Big Creek Barbecue Contest. Of course, that benefits Operation. Scott, always appreciate the time, and great to catch up with you. Continued success.
Thanks, Greg. Have a great one, man.
All right, there he is. Scott Nelson, ladies and gentlemen. Scooby-Doo. What is he talking about? Oh, that guy, man. Him and his wife and kids, took me in when, who the hell was it? Kingsford had the very first Kingsford Barbecue Challenge. And they, took me into their camper, and sounds like the story's going to go left to center, but they were very hospitable and poured me adult libations, and we had a lot of fun together. So, Scott Nelson, a great guy. If you get to see him out on the circuit, say hi. Friendly. Just don't mess with him when he's prepping stuff. He might cut off a finger. Folks, if you didn't know, and as we just mentioned, it was got Big Papa Smokers, the one-stop online shop for anyone interested in barbecue, and is the #1 dealer for Mac pellet grills in the world. Big Papa Smokers features a wide selection of American-made grill smokers, such as the Old Hickory Ace BP, the Gateway Drum Smoker, and even a drum kit to get you everything you need to make a world-class smoker out of a 55-gallon drum. Big Papa Smokers has also made a name for itself in recent years by crafting an award-winning line of championship rubs. From flavors like Sweet Money to Happy Ending, their rubs have had a hand in winning almost every major competition barbecue event, including the 2012-13 American Royal, 2012 and 14 Jack Daniels, the 2013 Kingsford Challenge, 2014 Houston Livestock and Rodeo, and last year's King of the Smoker. Don't forget, BPS has the unique ability to not be pigeonholed in competitive barbecue either. BPS rubs have become so well known that they have been picked up nationwide by a restaurant chain called BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse, with 4 of the 9 rubs featured on the permanent menu. And amid glowing reviews, BPS rubs are proven to be a great addition to anyone's pantry. Big Papa's has also banded together with fellow California-based rub maker called Simply Marvelous Barbecue to form what has now become known as the West Coast Offense. Defying conventional wisdom, these 2 California-based rub makers have cornered the market on competitive barbecue and begun to redefine the flavor profile the competitive cooks from across the country have begun to aim for. Big Papa's website also features an online meat locker with top-quality meats such as Snake River Farms, shipped right to your door, from the American Kobe beef, the Caribou pork, the Duroc, the Double R Ranch meats. Big Papa's Meat Locker has something for every type of barbecue aficionado. Committed to bringing you the best of barbecue flavors on the market, the new stuff like Swamp Boy sauce, a fine swine sauce, Granny's barbecue sauce. These are the new kids on the block. Pick them up at BPS as well. They've also created a unique brand ambassador program called the BPS Elite Team, which Scotty is a member of, featuring 15 of the best competition teams in the country working together to promote camaraderie, competition barbecue, and to benefit children's charities across the U.S. Don't forget, they've been able to do all of this within only 5 years of being in business, turning the competition barbecue world on its head, providing customers with the very best barbecue product, becoming a staple of a nationwide restaurant chain, and benefiting children's charities across the U.S. It's just the beginning for Big Papa Smokers. That's BigPapaSmokers.com, BigPapaSmokers.com. Jesse Henry out of the break. Stick around. We will be right back.
big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, we are back. Thanks again to Scott Nelson for joining me this past segment, pitmaster of Pigskin Barbecue. This portion of the Barbecue Central Show brought to you by Green Mountain Grills, manufacturers of some of the best pellet cookers on the market today. If you're looking for a big cooker to house a lot of food, they got one for you. If you're looking for medium size, yeah, I got you covered. Something to tailgate with. Yeah, they got that too. They can also supply you with the pellets that you need to run those cookers. Check them out at greenmountaingrills.com. That's greenmountaingrills.com. I love my Green Mountain Grill. You could love yours too if you would just go to greenmountaingrills.com and get one, or check them out through the dealer network, whatever you like. Helping me close the show tonight, just took grand champion at the Renton, Washington Sam's Club local qualifier, so they will move on to the regional round in Las Vegas. He is the pitmaster of Moving the Chains barbecue team, and he is a first-timer here on this show. Welcome, Jesse Henry, to the Barbecue Central Show. Jesse, how are you, buddy?
Pretty good, Greg. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely, my friend. My pleasure, and appreciate you making time as well. Jesse, before we get into the look back on this past weekend and the takeover at the Sam's Club local, maybe a little background about yourself and how you kind of got into this whole competition barbecue scene.
Well, so we're from Beaverton, Oregon, obviously just south of Washington there, just across the river. And we got into barbecue through tailgating, cooking in the backyard, going to football games, hence our name, Moving the Chains Barbecue. It's a football term. And we just cooked in the backyard, and there was a local contest down the road, and we entered it one year, and I cooked on some ugly drum smokers that I made, and we took a third-place brisket there, and so we were hooked ever since, and that was about 4 years ago.
Did Bruce Bjorkman, Mr. Barbecue, have anything to do with you getting into barbecue?
No, but he's become a very good friend of mine, and he's great, and he has a great show himself.
Yeah, he is. I say that kind of off the cuff, but I mean, typically, and it's grown. Believe me, when I started doing the show, 8 years ago, there was barely a whistle of competition barbecue up there in the Pacific Northwest, and he was the only thing that I had to associate with anything barbecue or grilling out there. And he's been on the show a couple times. He's a great personality, and as you said, has a great show on Real Radio that I do not have, by the way. What are you able to kind of glean and take from his wisdom? I mean, he's seen a lot of time on the manufacturer side, was with Traeger forever, and now with the Mac Grill stuff. What are you able to kind of take from him to help you better up the barbecue?
Well, just getting to know people, networking, just listening to a show. His passion for barbecue is one thing. I don't think if anybody's met Bruce, but he's got great passion and great love for the sport of barbecue and just barbecue in general. So it's infectious. You kind of catch that from him.
Jesse Henry joining me here on the show, pitmaster of Moving the Chains Barbecue, and they just won the Sam's Club local this past weekend out in Renton, Washington. So if we can kind of take a look back at the weekend, Jesse, as you start to load in and you're kind of getting the game plan ready and run your procedure or run the program, as they say out there on the competition circuit, anything come up over the weekend that you had to contend with that maybe you didn't plan for?
Well, it was an interesting weekend. Renton usually has perennial bad weather for this competition, and it was all as advertised on Friday for the load-in. It was raining sideways, winds off the lake, and we had just come off the Reno event that we had done the week before and pretty much got our tail kicked as far as our cook. So we were pretty amped up to cook this event and really looking for some redemption in our cook and just loaded in. We were one of the last ones to load in because we were at one of the furthest teams to drive, and so we loaded in, kind of got everything set up, let the weather pass, and then just started prepping, and everything went like clockwork after that.
When you have an experience like you did the weekend before in Reno, do you talk about any changes to make, or because you're kind of going up in the in the backyard, if you will, that the flavor profiles are going to hit up there?
Well, we made some changes. I mean, Reno was an event. No, they'd never had a KCBS event there, so no one really even coming to that event knew what the flavor profile would be. So we just kind of did what we normally did, and we thought we hit pretty good marks, but it didn't hit very well in the judges. So we had a 9.5-hour drive back to Portland from Reno, so we had a lot of time to reflect on the cook. There were a couple issues that we felt and when I mean we, me and my wife, so we're the two people on the team, and we're in an RV, so we had all this time to talk about the cook. We reflected on, hey, let's make these subtle changes. We made a couple flavor changes going into Renton to be more middle of the road. I think we kind of were a little bit on the edge of being almost too vinegary or a little bit more on the tang side of things. So we brought stuff back more towards the middle. And, the cook came off the pit awesome. All the meats were spot on, and we won all 4 of our tables. So we were pretty happy with the results and the changes we made.
As you look through the individual categories, overall you win with a 680 and a little bit more than a half, and the nearest was Wine Country Q, roughly 7 points, maybe 6.5 points behind you. So as you look at points discrepancy between first and second, I mean, this is a pretty sizable win when it boils down to competition barbecue. We've seen them extrapolate out to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of points, but this was a very convincing win on the team's part for you guys. You win the chicken category. You do very well in pork ribs with a 5th overall. And then you also, where are you at in pork? 3rd place pork and 4th. So, I mean, you're really no less than 4th place overall in all these meat categories. So from a consistency standpoint, I mean, you had to be very happy with all the finishes and the meats and kind of how those measured up with the judges.
Like I said, yeah, it was great. I mean, like I said, everything came off the smoker just perfect. I mean, all the textures were there. I thought our flavors were great, and now it's just a matter of hitting the right tables and getting a little bit of luck. So, I felt we did the best we could, put in a great product, and the results showed. I mean, like I said, we won each table. We won, so we're pretty happy, and and even our 4th and 5th are only like a point or 2 from being first. So we were pretty excited with the end result. And, there's a lot of good cooks up here in the Northwest that no one hears about. And, it's a strong field. It's almost like a Daytona atmosphere up here because it's the first cook of the season up here for a lot of the cooks. And you have the best of the best in the Northwest trying to get down to Vegas. So everyone was super excited to cook, and we're really happy with it.
Jesse Henry joining me here on the show, recapping the win this past weekend at Sam's Club Local. They will be moving down to the Las Vegas Regional. It'll take place in a couple weeks' time here towards the end of the month. Do you like the fact, Jesse, that some of these local events take place early in the year and then they string out the regional event till end of summer, early part of fall, and you don't have to worry about that? Obviously, the finals is a little bit different if you get top 10 and get to move on. But do you like the fact that they're almost kind of a back-to-back scenario?
I love it. I mean, this way what your plan is for the fall as far as if you go on. It takes a lot of the weight out of it. You're in a rhythm now. Just get it over with. Just cook right away. That way you can start making your plans. We have such a long journey from here to either to the Royal or to Bentonville or even the Jack that it takes a lot of planning and takes 3 or 4 months of gathering some logistics just to get stuff that way. So we're pretty happy that it's this way. And a couple of years ago, we did cook Renton, and then the next week was Vegas. That was a little tough, so I'm glad to have a couple weeks.
Will you do anything, or is there anything local up there that you'll just try and jump in to try some stuff, or to make sure that everything is on point for the regional in Las Vegas?
No, I might fire up a practice cook here and there, but there's no contest right now between now and then within reason for us to go to. So we only have 2 weeks. So I do have a day job, so it's nice to get back to work and do that, and then we'll be ready to go for Vegas. We've been there. This is our 3rd year in a row going to Vegas, so we're excited to cook there and throw down with the best in the West and hopefully move on like we did 2 years ago.
What kind of a drive is it to go from Beaverton, Oregon to Bentonville, Arkansas? I mean, it's got to be like a 10-week journey, right?
It is. It's 4.5 days.
Oh.
So it's and you're going through the worst roads in America. So it's quite the experience. The last time I did it, I did stop and pick up a new smoker at Yoder Smokers. So that was quite the experience, and it was fun to go down and cook Bentonville. I mean, it's such an experience. I love the Sam's Club series. They put so much money into barbecue. They really there's no BS to their cooks. You show up, you set up, you cook, and you get some cash.
Is that your primary cooker? Do you cook on a Yoder's, or do you have other pits as well?
Yeah, I mean, I started out with trash cans, and I had a cook shack for a couple of years that I kind of just use for catering now, and then I have a Yoder trailer pit with a YS 1500 and a Frontiersman stick burner on that, so it's quite the sight going down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet Jesse Henry joining me here on the show. Jesse, aside from going to Vegas in a couple weeks and then hopefully on to Bentonville later in the year, how many other events do you have planned to cook this season?
We'll try and do 10 to 12 events. That's a lot for us because we have such a large travel area. It's not uncommon for us to hit events 6 to 10 hours away. So you have to plan a little bit of travel with that. So there's not a lot of local events, so you have to kind of cook out of the area. And hopefully we'll get, we've already qualified for the Royal, so we'll go there this year, and then hopefully we'll get back to the Jack.
What kind of growth have you seen personally in your particular area of the country as it relates to competition barbecue? Has it continued to grow with the amount of contests? I mean, I know you just said that you're in a position where you're going to have to put in some miles to get to these, but are these events that you haven't seen over the course of the years, or have you remained fairly consistent?
Well, I think competitions up in this area, they come and go. There is an organization called the Pacific Northwest Barbecue Association. They run a lot of events. We cook a lot more KCBS than we do PNWBA, so that's why we travel a little bit further because there's a little bit better money there with the KCBS, and the PNWBA is great, and they have great. So we'll hit a few of those events as well. I would say it comes and goes. There's some new events this year, but they've lost some big events. So I'd say it's about static. We're starting to get some more teams, which is great. I love having new teams, and we do what we can to help them out. So we're seeing a few new teams. It's growing, but slowly.
Jesse Henry is the pitmaster of Movin' the Chains Barbecue. They won this past weekend at the Renton, Washington Sam's Club Local, and they will be down in Vegas competing for one of the top 10 spots to move on to that Bentonville final. Jesse, appreciate the time tonight, the interview, the candor, and continued success, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got it. There he is, Jesse Henry. Moving the Chains Barbecue. Yeah. Look at that first-timer bringing it right to the show. No doubt about it. Getting out on time, not... Again, what are my criteria for great guests? Succinct, giving good answers to my well-thought-out questions, but not falling in love with one's self. Sometimes leaving a little bit to the imagination is a little better than just letting it all hang out like they do in Walmart, for crying out loud. Oh, Walmart, how you want to burn my eyes out. That was Jesse Henry. Let's try and play a little clock catch-up as I talk to you quickly about Dan Arnold and my good friends over at Sucklebusters. That's right, Sucklebusters award-winning barbecue rubs, barbecue sauces, chili kits, and Texas gunpowder, preferred by competition barbecue cooks. Texas-based, 100% made in the USA. Products have won hundreds of industry awards, including 2 first place at the American Royal, the World Series of Barbecue. New product, Sucklebusters Honey Barbecue Glaze and Finishing Sauce. based on Sucklebuster's award-winning honey barbecue sauce. This is a thin barbecue glaze and finishing sauce made especially for competition ribs and chick. It's super sweet, not spicy. It's super red. And they use a special American paprika for the bright red color. Brush it on 5 to 10 minutes before you take it off the cooker. It leaves a glossy red sheen on the meat and an extra layer of sweet flavor. Take your competition ribs and chick, as they say, to a whole nother level. Available at local barbecue stores or online at sucklebusters.com. Don't believe it? Don't believe it? Oh. Why don't you try and win yourself some for free right now? First one in with an email. In the subject line, put Moving the Chains Barbecue. Moving the Chains Barbecue. And you can win some free honey barbecue glaze and finishing sauce from the good folks over at Sucklebusters. Some additional contact information, sales at sucklebusters.com. You can visit their Facebook fan page, Sucklebusters, and their forum, the TexasBBQforum.com. And the subject line, put Moving the Chains Barbecue. Let's see if we can get a winner right now. You email, the email is greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. You see it right there in the lower third. greg@thebbqcentralshow, and in the subject line, Moving the Chains BBQ. And you can win a new free, because you all know rule 3 of the show. If it's free, it's me. Sucklebusters honey barbecue glaze and finishing sauce. We'll get a winner on the other side of the break. You are listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Big B, Moonshine Band, Suburban Boys Records. Let's go!
All right, welcome back. You want to jump in? 216-220-0966. Greg@thebbq.com. Your 2 ways to get in touch with me, should you see fit. Still have the bottle of the Sucklebusters honey glaze and finishing sauce if you want to jump in on that. Very easy to win. You send me an email, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com, and in the subject line put Moving the Chains BBQ. That's Moving the Chains BBQ. Meathead, I know, Angela. Colt Ford was in Thomaston. I saw pictures of Big Mo Cason hanging out with the Colt Ford and Diva Q hanging out with the Colt Ford. So it seemed like, was he like staged off somewhere where everybody could go get a picture with him? I asked him to come on the show once, and then I got denied. I've had the Moonshine Bandits on my show, for crying out loud. Colt Ford's going to tell me no? Colt Ford? Come on, man. Smokin' Smoke BBQ. Winner! It's my fault, Smokin' Smoke BBQ. Send me a additional email with your shipping information. Sorry about that, everybody.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Meant to mention that. I forgot. My bad. I hate when people say that. My bad. What does that mean? I forgot to mention it, and that's all I'm saying. Hey, all the way back in the first hour, we caught up again with the good doctor of barbecue, Ray Lampe. We talked implicitly about the Barbecue Hall of Fame. Amongst other things, he's going to be hanging out with Mike Allstott this weekend. He's going to be judging a pie-eating contest this weekend. He's writing a new book. He's going to be down in St. Croix next week. Watch out. He's busy, everybody. Then we talked with Matt Barber from Hot Wachulas. He's going to the Jack Daniels on the strengths of 7 wins within the allotted time frame, winning. Did we say it was six of the last 7? Matt, I forget. Your phone was acting unsavory. And then the second hour, Scott Nelson, Pigskin Barbecue, and Jesse Henry moving the chains. You have the raw cast iron, re-season it each and every time. As it starts to cool down, I hit mine with the grill brush, and then I spray in a little Pam. You could use some Crisco if you want. Let it burn back in as it cools down. Generations of rust-free service. September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.